Hi everyone, my name is Yao, and today I will present our EducationQ, evaluating LLM's teaching capabilities through multi-agent dialogue framework. Nowadays, the performance of large language models is evolving at a breathtaking pace. More and more students use AI in their daily studies. For example, scanning the question to get the answer, or asking ChatGPT to help writing essays. But while these models are masters of providing answers, we have to ask a critical question. Are students actually learning from them? There comes the situation that students become more and more reliant on AI tools, but their actual learning gain remains uncertain. This is the fundamental gap between the AI's output and the user's understanding outcomes. Outstanding AI masters information retrieval, reasoning, and answering. But what makes an outstanding teacher? It's not about giving answers, but about facilitating and questioning. Teachers operate with human-centric empathy. They perform needs analysis, diagnose the specific understanding gap, and they use questioning, guidance, and dynamic adaptation to build the bridge. Our research is driven by the vision of human-centered LLM, instilling three key properties: alignable, fallible, and explainable. These three pillars directly address three critical gaps we've identified in the current landscape. First, current LLMs are static and single-turn, but real teaching involves a multi-turn, multi-role interaction. Second, LLMs are passive and reactive, while effective teaching requires proactive and strategy behavior, like heuristic questioning and target feedback. And third, current benchmarks are model-centric, focused on knowledge and reasoning. We argue that to evaluate teaching, you must be learner-centric. The ultimate measure of good teaching is whether the student actually learned. Briefing the evolution trait of LLMs in education, our work introduced a multi-agent, multi-turn dynamic educational scenario depicting the shift from isolated capabilities to comprehensive teaching capabilities, just like a real teacher does. Our main research question is, how can the general capabilities of LLMs are transformed into comprehensive teaching capabilities? And how can we evaluate and analyze them? To build our framework, we first grounded our work in established educational theories, including the EZPD, scaffolding, strategy questioning, and Bloom's taxonomy. And we used the principle of informal formative assessment. This refers to the continuous process of collecting evidence about a student's understanding, which is then immediately used to adapt teaching strategies. This is the engine that makes scaffolding dynamic and personalized. So, granted in these theories, we define LLM's teaching capabilities as the fusion of a model's core abilities with key pedagogical skills, assessing, giving feedback, questioning, and adapting, which allow LLMs to perform effective teaching behaviors, leading to student learning gains. This brings us to the core of our methodology, the EducationQ multi-agent dialogue framework. It's a simulated classroom environment with three key roles: student agent, teacher agent, and evaluator agent. The entire process follows a three-stage workflow. First, a pretest to establish the student's initial knowledge baseline. Then, a multi-role teaching interaction, which the agent must guide the student based on pedagogical principles. And finally, a post-test to precisely measure the student's learning improvement. This entire flow is automated and scalable. To evaluate performance within this framework, we employ a mixed method approach, combining the what with the why. On the quantitative side, we measure student outcomes. Our primary metric is absolute learning gain, which is the direct improvement between the post-test and pre-test accuracy. We also look at metrics like positive-negative impact ratio and cross-subject stability to measure consistency, and the unique improvement count to identify specialized model capabilities. On the qualitative side, we analyze the teaching interaction itself. Our evaluator agents assesses the dialogue across 17 dimensions from three pedagogical perspectives. To build a high-quality and balanced teaching-oriented test pack, we meticulously curated nearly 1,500 challenging questions as teaching tests from two elite benchmarks, GPQA and MNLU Pro. Our goal was to construct a robust dataset that moves beyond single knowledge recall. We create an EducationQ dataset that covers 13 different academic disciplines and a wide range of difficulty levels. This allows us to assess pedagogical skill across diverse and challenging contexts, isolating genuine teaching capabilities from simple domain knowledge. To ensure our evaluation is both fair and rigorous, we went one step further. On the left, you can see the original distribution of the LLM Pro dataset. As the diagram shows, the representation across subjects and difficulty levels is quite uneven. So we introduced our LLM Pro stratified version, shown on the right. To create this, we first analyzed the top 10 performances of sorted LLMs to establish 10 distinct difficulty tiers. Then we sampled questions to ensure that every combination of subject and difficulty is equally represented. This meticulous process ensures our dataset is a fair and representative foundation for measuring teaching capabilities. We also conducted 2 studies to validate our methodology. First, the student agent evaluation study. We swap out the student models. The result shows the negligible impact our teacher rankings. It confirms that our methodology effectively isolates the teacher's performance independent of the student models. Second, the methodology stability study. We ran the same experiments multi-time and found an extreme low variance in the results. This proves our framework is reliable and its measurements are high consistent. Our main experiment tests 14 leading open source and commercial LLMs from major AI organizations. For each model, we ran our full workflow following the EducationQ framework. Here is a case example with 2 teachers and the same student. The left side shows the records of the test flow dialog, while the right side is the evaluation result. Our framework distinguishes between teaching strategies and links them directly to measurable outcomes. Here is the overall performance leaderboard. The most important column is the overall delta, which shows the average absolute learning gain across our entire dataset. Llama 3.1 70B in Shark is the top performing model, demonstrating a remarkable 11.01% learning gain. It's followed closely by Gemini 1.5 Pro with a 7.48% improvement. This result challenges the conventional bigger is better assumptions and suggests that effective teaching is a specialized skill. Digging deeper, we found that teaching performance is not monolithic. When we break down the results by subject, as shown in this radar chart, distinct patterns emerge. This leads to our next finding, which is that LLM teachers have subject specialties. We can group them into persona. Llama 3.1 is the knowledge specialist. OpenAI's model is the reasoning specialist. And Gemini Pro is the applied science specialist, excelling in fields like business and economics. Furthermore, our cross-subject stability metric shows that Gemini 1.5 Pro and Llama 3.1 70B has the best cross-domain adaptability. Our next finding comes from analyzing performance by difficulty, which revealed 2 distinct teaching styles. The model on the left demonstrates that we can call hurdle helper style. It excels at helping students overcome conceptual hurdles. Most other models, however, are knowledge consolidators, performing best on easy questions, meaning they are better at reinforcing existing knowledge. Finally, our framework allows us to quantify how these models teach. Our analysis revealed that Llama's success is primarily driven by its optimistic questioning strategies. In contrast, Gemini's success comes from its superior feedback mechanisms. Here is the evidence linking specific pedagogical strategy to successful outcomes. To further validate these strategy differences, we had human experts analyze cases, confirming our findings. Qualified educators reviewed 50 years of teaching dialogues and chose the most effective teaching behaviors. We found a 78% agreement between our framework's automated assessment and the judgment of human experts. This strong alignment confirms that our automated analysis is robust and reliably reflects professional pedagogical judgment. To conclude, our work can be summarized in 3 parts. We started by identifying the gap. General LLM's ability does not correlate with effective teaching. Our contribution is the EducationQ framework that applied and evaluates teaching capabilities by measuring actual student learning gain, while also analyze the underlying pedagogical process. This led to our key findings. Scale is not the answer. We must move beyond simply scaling up models. Our work proved that creating effective AI teachers requires target optimization of specific pedagogical skills. And that concludes our presentation. Thank you very much for your time and attention.